Alrighty, so we're going to start replacing this bit with the ARB Bullbar. Not going to go into too much detail of exactly how to take it all apart because you get some instructions, have a read of them. It's pretty self-explanatory in what you have to do. Some ARB Bullbars, depending on what car you have, not necessarily the Jimny, but you do have to cut panels and that sort of thing, so they can get a little bit tricky. With this one, we do have to cut a plastic section that goes into the bull bar, but I'll show you that when we get to it. It's not rocket science. Alright, so let's just go over the whole build of this car. So obviously we're doing the bull bar, we're going to do suspension and that sort of thing. I don't know if it's like a automatic bot on the computer or what, but a lot of comments you see, doesn't matter what it is. I copped it on the motorbike as well. Will this void my warranty? I don't know. If you're scared of that, don't do it. If you're going to comment that, don't watch the videos. It doesn't worry me whatsoever. This is what I want to do. So at the end of the day, once this car's complete, I'm going to get it engineered. So don't get your bloody titties twisted about if it's going to be void under warranty or anything like that. Australia has a couple of different rules regarding warranty anyway. I'm not going to go into it in detail, but essentially, if you do something to the car and that part affects or damages something else, and then you try and get warranty claimed on that part, of course you're going to void your warranty. But I had 2 warranty claims last year for 2 different things. If you would go back and watch my videos, one of the crash bars on the motorbike had a fatigue crash in it from vibration. They asked me to take photos of every single part of the bike, how many Ks it had done even, every single modification on that bike. Bam, and they just replaced it. Done. Sent it to me, I had it within a week. And that was direct from Italy as well, because there was none in Australia at the time. Now, the GoPro camera, which I filmed the last thing on, I claimed that under warranty because it just keeps cutting out, the audio's dead on it. I spoke to them on the phone, did the little claim system, and they swapped it. The problem I have with GoPro is there was lots of issues with the camera to begin with. They initially denied it, but I had to pay to get that camera returned so then they can send me a replacement under warranty, so I was a bit annoyed about that. That's the 2 warranty issues I've experienced. Both were technically covered, even though the GoPro one cost me, it was like $18 postage or something like that. But regarding cars, if you're so worried about voiding warranty, for starters, probably look at a different car, and secondly, don't touch your car. Those sorts of people are the ones that won't even check the water level in your windscreen washer, because it might void the warranty. But apart from that, we're going to do lots of things to this car. First of all though, the one recommendation I do have regarding anything, no matter what modification you do, label little bags and put them in that, so when you go to put things back on, you know exactly where they come from. With this, I need to keep the driving lights and the fog lights are part of one section in here, and also the headlight washers. So that's why I need to take all this off and keep those, and then transfer that over to the bull bar. So once I get all this off, we'll come back and I'll show you what stage we're up to. So everything should be unplugged. Unplug the fog lights, unplug the washers. Should be able to grab it. Needed. Once I take the squirties out and the running lights, the lights going in the bin pretty much. And this here, you have to discard this, that's never going back on. So you get 3 spare clips essentially. Cool. Get rid of this, take that off, and then we'll start swapping these over into the bull bar. So now that the bumper's been removed, you've got the option of painting this section here black, because this is going to be exposed once the bull bar's on. If you've got a light coloured car, so like a white or the yellow or something like that, it recommends to paint this, like mask all this off and spray this section here black. I'm going to leave it for the time being because, yeah, I don't know exactly how much it's going to show, and all I'm going to do at the moment is get the bull bar on. I still have to take it off to fit the winch and that sort of thing, so if I don't like it, I'll do it when I fit the winch. No big deal. Now, I've jumped on here because this next step, a lot of people seem to stuff up. Doesn't matter on what four-wheel drive, I've come across it numerous times. We have to drill this top hole here on both sides, but not all the way through. So this has to be drilled out to 13mm, and then a crush sleeve will go inside it with the bracket, and then you tighten it up from this side. So yeah, it just prevents this getting crushed when you tighten it up, and then you've got your mounting points for when you put the bull bar on. But do not drill all the way through, just drill this first hole out on either side. So in this case, that's a 13mm for the top section right there. So with these plates, because they've been painted, they're a little bit tight and the bolts are like bang on the exact fit, but push them through. They'll be on there like that. Once I've drilled these out to 13mm, that's what these spacers are for. So these spacers will go inside, called crush tubes, and they'll stop this section from being crushed. So just to get it ready, get them like that. Then once this side's on, this side will mount like that. That's essentially what we're trying to do, but I'll drill that out first. Once again, just the outside 2 to 13mm. Quickly do the other side. So the next part we have to drill is the inside. We need to drill out to 10.5mm. The top one's already 10mm, so just give it a little bit of a reaming. Says to drill out these two to 10.5mm. So just going to deburr them, going to clean up all this swarf, then we give them a bit of a paint. So it doesn't really matter what you spray in here, as long as you spray something so it doesn't rust. I was actually looking for a grey primer to put, just to spray, but the brackets are all black, so I went with a black primer, matte black primer. And just masked it off, just roughly, away we go. These are all going to be covered up anyway, so. And this little one here, give like a nice little square pattern happening from it. Just make sure the holes are all good. That's the main part we're doing anyway. The rest of it's just for looks. Okay, so with the crush tubes on, we're going through. Get those tubes in there. Pop them out the other side. And we'll do one sort of do this side so you can see it come through as well. Okay. All through. Now we get our little bracket. These are the holes here which are going through over the bolts, and the little square window is facing up over the biggest circle at the top there. This is why when you're in like grade 1, grade 2, even kindergarten, that sort of thing, you need to know your shapes. So square goes over circle. That's how it works. You get that on there like that. So you go. Same deal on this side. So that one wants to go nice. This one. Paint sticking or what? But it's alright, we'll sort it out. Because now, M10 nuts go on. And we're filling them up to 44 Newton meters. And then we have some M8s. So the M8s are the ones that go around all the outside, pretty much filling the rest of the holes. And they get done up to 22 Newton meters. You have a SEMS bolt, which then goes into the final hole in the front here. With an M10 nut on the back of it, which could be fun to try and do up. I did manage to get it. Just loosely for the time being. Okay, so we'll get all that tightened up now. So 44 Newton meters for the M10s, 22 for the M8s. Get all that nice and square. We'll find out what's going on next. I love it when there's instructions like this. So the next part of the instruction, fit cradle bracket 3752362 to chassis crossmember and secure using M10 SEMS bolts and M10 flange nuts. Ensure that outer M8 holes sit underneath the outer chassis. Do not install the M8 bolts in the outer holes at this stage. So the picture is this bottom one here. Just shows a big black smudge essentially, and all you can make out is this little corner. Now, the only reason I know this goes here is, one, I've done it before, but it has to match up with the two holes that we've drilled. Okay, makes sense. And the fact that it can only go underneath, because if it's sitting on top, like that there, it's too much of an angle and it sits too high. So that makes sense doing that. So once again, M10. So if you don't know what a SEMS bolt is, it's these bolts here that have a washer and sometimes, like in this case, a spring washer and a washer permanently attached. And we're putting them through the two holes that we drilled out before, and sort of hold that in place while you reach over the back of it and try and not to drop a nut into the chassis. Like so. Once you get one in, generally all good. And these ones you fully tighten up to 44 Newton meters. I'm just going a couple of ugga-buggers with the impact. And we'll do those two up, and then I believe we're onto the electric side of things. So we have to start swapping over, fog lights, and running the loom for the indicators, that sort of thing. So that's next after I tighten these two up. So yeah, don't need to see that, but a couple of ugga-buggers or 44 Newton meters if you're into that. Okay, it's all pretty self-explanatory. I'm just changing the lights over and putting them all in and getting the bull bar sorted. But with the plugs that you need to tap into, you get Scotch locks. Don't use them, solder them or crimp them, do it properly. But in the ARB manual, just something to be careful of. On the right hand side, like it says, use the red wire. Okay, you're better off testing it, because I think this was written for a 2019 model. This is a 2023. So for the Parkers, instead of being a red wire, on the left side, which is this side, it's red. And the book says to use the blue one. The blue one isn't Parkers in this case. And on the right hand side, being the drivers, it says to use the red one, but it's actually purple. So I can't quite see in there, but I've just tested them, the purple wire. So yeah, best test which one are your Parkers before you go chopping wires or crimping to them. But definitely don't use Scotch locks because they're terrible. Solder them or crimp them, and then obviously re-wrap them. I just pull all the wrapping off just to get it back down because I need to tap into the indicators, which is the blue one on this one, and need to tap into the red one on that, plus a black being an earth. And then we're done. So then that will obviously hang down there somewhere and we can plug that in for the indicators and the Parkers. So once you've done your wiring, you've got it draped out the bottom down here on both sides. Put your air dam back in, and before we go and clip all this back in, click your indicators back on. On that way to go. Stay there for 2 seconds. That's all we want to do. Normal sound. Right hand indicator. That's good. You'll notice when you unplug any indicator, it'll start flashing really quickly. Left hand indicator all round. We're good to go. Just wet because I washed it because I got rid of all the spider webs that were actually on the other side. Alright, we're nearly ready. Nearly ready to mount up the bull bar. But we've got 2 more little clips to put in here. So I'll do that before I forget. Okay, so all the indicators and lights are in the bull bar now. I haven't mounted the actual winch yet, but that's essentially where it's going. Just a nice little one in there. So as you can see, I can just take that out right now. And yeah, so all we've got to do now, lift it onto the car and bolt it in. Okay, so now that we've got the bar on all nicely, the only thing that's left to do is we need to pin it. So once you've got it in the position that you like, these holes here, there's one there and one at the top, you need to drill them out to 10.5mm to secure it in place, so when you take the bull bar on and off in future, it goes back in exactly the same spot. Yeah, it's all looking good so far. I'll just zoom out in a second and show you what it looks like. So that's currently where we're at. Everything's all on except for the bottom bash plate, which I'll put on after I pin it, and then the plastic inner guards, which you have to cut. But apart from that, it's all good to go. Okay, so maybe just resting on top of the hub. It's only going to be a rough. So if we go resting on top of the center hub to just on that rough angle there, we're looking at 425. We'll see how much it drops. Okay, so let's do a quick little height test on where it was. I think it was 425 roughly before the bull bar. Car hasn't moved, and that's sitting on 415 now. So if it was 425, I've looked it up, but I'll pop it up on the screen of what the difference was just with the bull bar. Okay, so all done. Got the bull bar on, got all the squirties working. The only thing I need to do now is install the winch, but that's fairly easy to do. By taking the bottom little plate off, I should even just be able to put it in without even taking the bull bar off. Put one of the leads. That's the plan anyway. Should be okay. Just got to drill 2 more holes. I think I'm going to mount it off the top, because then when I put the fair lead roller in or guard. These two can mount by themselves, and they've extra two at the top, and it won't be a hassle given that it's a lot smaller winch. I've left these tabs on, so don't say that you have to chop them off. I've left them on for a reason, which you'll find out once I do the rest of the stuff. But today it's 40 degrees, it's cooking. That's not from the car, that's from my sweat underneath the car as I was bolting it up. So I'm gonna go have a shower. But all done, and see you in the next one.